Alright, so I got the spring perches cut and ground off. The shock brackets. Got the tubes cleaned up for the most part. Ready to get this. Basically, so you see that's the bridge there. And this is a larger pumpkin, so I got to rebuild the bridge. But I got this angle finder. And it's important. I had the drive shaft sitting over there, but before I did all this, I put this the slip yoke into the back of the transmission, set the angle, checked it with my yoke or my rear pinion, and made sure they were the same. You want those two angles to be the same, and you can rotate your pumpkin, then your airbags, your 4-link and everything, so that this angle, the pinion here, is the same angle as your output shaft slip yoke, which is that guy on the transmission. So you want those to be the same angle, or at least as close as possible. When I set this up, this this angle, so you can see it's tilted forward a little bit, but that's how I had to set it, so that the pumpkin had the correct upward angle, and so that I could have the flatness and rotation for the 4-link. So you can see the spring perches are a little a little off, but or not spring perches, the airbag perches here. I'm going to cut those off, but what I'm going to do, so I can make sure I have these in the right place when I build this bridge out and when I do the airbag, is I'm going to see what angle this is here. Alright, so I'm sitting at about 5 degrees on the money. And so I want this here to sit at 5 degrees also. So I got to raise it up a little bit. I'm just going to grab a couple pieces of metal. And I'm going to put it underneath it. Okay. Okay, once that calms down. So I'm still at 0. So it needs to come up a little bit more. So I have the same pinion angle. Just take a piece of this. So what I'm doing is I'm just shimming this up a little bit at a time to get my angle reference point. This needs to go up more. Okay, a little bit more. That's too much. Okay. There we go. So now this is sitting at 5 degrees. There's a little bit of a have a little weld bump right here, but I'm just gonna set it flat to that. But that is gonna give me the 5 degrees that I want, or pretty close to. So then both of those are going, the rotation of the axle should be the same. Now what I want to do is I'm going to see what I have set for angle. Okay, so that's set at 0, which is right. So I want to mark. I just put 0 degrees. And I think when I did this the first time, I goofed one of these up and just ran with it. But they're supposed to be at 0. So that was at 5. So I set that at 5 degrees. So I must have set that before I adjusted my pinion angle, and then messed it up. But I'd already welded it. So we're doing it right this time. Anyway, so that'll set that. I need to check. Well, we'll clock these. So that's my lower 4-link points, upper 4-link points, and I'm gonna check the angle of this. But in order to do that, I got to put a spacer in here because these welds or grind these welds down so it sits flat. But I gotta sketch it out and build it, and I need it to be set to that angle, which is 5 degrees negative. Yeah. Okay. So so I got that marked. I'm gonna grind these down. I mean, the welds feel pretty close, but I'm gonna grind these down so that's flat, and I'll double check my angle. But that will help me get my brace set right, and my airbag perches set right. And basically, so these are my shock mounts. I've got my 4-link mounts on the bottom. I'll pull measurements from the basically this is a dust cover, but the dust cover plate here, I'll measure over, take measurements for all this, and I'll mark it out on this tube and get everything welded, build that, set that right, take some measurements off of the top of the dust cover here over, and just get these points. And I'm not going to weld anything solid. I'm just going to do some tack welds just to kind of get it, solid in place. And then I will move it up into the truck and make sure everything fits right. The side to side is right for the wheels, so that's going to be important. And like I said, I'm just going to tack weld all this stuff, get it up there, make sure it's right, bring it back down, weld everything good, and then primer it, paint it, put it back in place. So you'll see that coming up here pretty quick.